Gridiron Grinder! Hut hut hike!
All right, party people, it is Thursday night Gridiron Grinder time. I am Ryan. With me, as always, is my buddy James. Just a couple of dudes hanging out, talking about what's going on in the NFL each week. We are going into our week 3 power rankings and game picks. And so, yeah, man, how's it going there tonight, James?
It's going all right. It's kind of been like a crappy afternoon, but
But now we're talking football, so you feel
I,
all
I
better.
survive.
Yeah, and there's a game on
Yeah.
in the background. I'm sure you got it on, and life is good for the moment. We're in our gridiron grinder bubble. Okay.
Yeah, I was a little annoyed.
Oh man, that
I
food looks good. They're
couldn't
showing at
get
the game.
Prime Video to load.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
But you got it worked out.
So like I was like annoyed, like I couldn't get the load because the app on my TV. Yeah, the app on my TV was updating, and
Oh,
I was like,
gotcha.
geez.
Yeah, I had a weird one a while back where one of my TVs is a Samsung, which I like Samsung TVs, but um, it one of the apps had like an incompatibility with Samsung and they couldn't figure it out. And for like 6 months, I couldn't use one of my apps. And I was like, what the heck, man? And even now, somehow they fixed it, but every now and then it'll freeze while it's playing and it'll like get into like a loop where it'll play the same like 5 seconds over and over and over and over. And basically, I got to like reset the TV. I got to like hold the power button for like 10 seconds and do a reset, and then it'll come back and it works. But it's just like this tech stuff, man. I'm glad I'm hanging on for now, but I can tell, when I'm an old man, I'm just going to be angry at everything. I'm going to
Yeah,
want the phone with the big buttons on it and, just have like some kid to just do everything for me so I could just yell and, not have to worry about it.
yeah, like it happens to us for like on our downstairs TV with Disney Plus.
Okay.
Like we'll be watching like a movie with the kids and it'll freeze, and it's always frozen too. So the joke obviously comes out that it's frozen.
Yes.
But it's like it's playing, but the TV's frozen. So like we'll have to like exit out and go back to it, and
Okay.
like it's like a minute or two past where we were. Like it continued to play and continued to register it was
Oh,
playing,
yeah.
which is super annoying. But then we have to go back because I have toddlers that don't like things to be different, so they want to watch the whole movie. They don't want to miss that minute, 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I got you. All right. Well, so my man, I guess whenever you're ready, why don't you give me your 1 through 5 on the power rankings?
All right, not a whole lot of shakeup on my power rankings this week. I honestly, I did it like 10 minutes. Did this 10 minutes before like I was leaving work because I got busy and I was like, oh shit, I didn't do it. So, but not that big a shakeup. It makes
Oh
logical sense a
no.
little.
Oh, sorry. Keep going. Keep going. Sorry.
Makes a little bit of logical sense on it with what happened this week. But all right, so I have the Eagles. They beat Kansas City. I kept them at 1. Buffalo moved up a spot, and Green Bay moved up a spot, and the
Okay.
Commanders moved down 2 spots. I think it's kind of adjusting because what I'm seeing out of the Bills, I think they're by and far, if not the best team, playing like they're the best team in the league. They're at least the second best. Green Bay beat Washington, so they had to go ahead of Washington. I hate the fact that I have Green Bay this freaking high, and it
Yeah.
kills me. But
But
and
they're
then
looking damn good, man. Yeah.
exactly, and then Kansas City, they lost to Philadelphia. It was a close game, and I had Philly as my number one team, so I'm not really gonna kill
Yeah.
them that much about
Yeah.
it.
You don't need to spank them when they're losing to your top dog. I got you. All right. Well, yeah. So for me, it was actually really easy this week. Well, not, I mean, at the top anyhow. My top 7 didn't move. And so Philly at 1, Buffalo 2, Baltimore 3, the Los Angeles Chargers at 4, and Green Bay at 5. And so, I know that I moved Los Angeles up there last week, and it was kind of an aggressive move, but they're still everything I see, they're playing really solid football. And so
Mhm.
I think an extra week just makes me more comfortable that I made that bump. But it was early, and so I guess I'm going to need them to keep onto it to keep them here. So back to you at 6, my man.
All right, so 6 through 10, there was no change. All these teams won, and the teams ahead of them that lost to teams that I have in the upper echelon. So I didn't move them, even though I wanted to move San Francisco because they struggled with New Orleans. Tampa Bay kind of got lucky in that game. Baltimore spanked Cleveland. Detroit spanked Chicago, and the Chargers spanked Vegas. So it kind of they kind of got stuck here this week
Yeah.
with how the rest the board above them occurred.
Hey, it's all good, man. Yeah, and I mean, as we get to some of mine, you're going to see I made some fairly big moves again just to shake it up because there was a drastic difference from week 1 to week 2, like we knew there would be, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
I might have maybe one more week and then things will start to settle down. But for now, so at 6, I've got Tampa Bay stayed where they were at. 7, Kansas City stayed where they were at. Same reason as you mentioned, they lost to Philly, which is also my number 1 team. So I wasn't going to ding them. And then at 8, I've got the Rams. I moved them up 3 spots. It seems a little high for me to have the Rams here, but when I look at how they're playing in comparison to the teams in this range of the board, they look the most consistent and stable. And so that's why they're there at 9. Washington, I dropped them down 1. And honestly, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with Jaden Daniels. He might be out this week, but even before the knee thing and whether or not he'd be out, I am questioning why I have Washington this high because I know on paper and everything it looked like, oh man, it looked like they were going to be a stud team this year, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
seeing that through 2 weeks yet. And
No,
then
exactly. I have the same questions about them and having them as high as I did, but I
yeah,
if it continues, I'll probably
they
correct
just
them.
they just have like a little bit of streakiness where sometimes they can move the ball, sometimes they sputter out really easily. It's weird. And then the same thing on defense. Sometimes the defense looks great, sometimes it's like they get shredded. And so it's just it's hard for me to know what they are right now. And then at 10 I made a another big adjustment with Detroit. I moved them back up 5 spots. And so I got them into the top 10. Although I'm still, man, that game against Chicago, great. They put up 52, spanked Ben Johnson's team. I'm happy for it, but I still am concerned with that offensive line. A lot of their success on the ground was running outside the tackles. And, until they figure out that interior 3, we're going to be one dimensional and other teams are going to figure that out. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was great that it worked last week. I don't know if I can count on it to continue. They gotta do some adjustments still. So back to you at 11 now.
All right, so in this range, there was little shake up on my board. I have the Rams. They moved up 2 spots to number 11. I moved the Colts up 10 spots to number 12. I kind of wanted them to I wanted to put them higher. Like they're playing freaking phenomenal football.
Yeah, they
Daniel
beat.
Jones is looking
Yeah,
looking awesome. They beat Denver. Yeah, it was on a lucky ass penalty call, and they missed the field goal on one. But they were in that game. They're the first team. I told you this. They were
yeah,
the first team in NFL history to score on their first 10 possessions of the season. They're also the first team in NFL history to not punt the ball in their first 2 games of the season, which is
yeah. It's
fucking
nuts.
ridiculous.
It's nuts, man. Danny Dimes of all people.
Yeah. Then Denver, I dropped them 2 spots. I only dropped them 2 spots. I mean, they lost. They just lost to the Colts. I had the Colts right there, so
Yeah,
Denver had to go down. Cincinnati, I dropped them 2 spots off of a win. I really did this because I don't know with what's the name
Browning.
with Browning instead of Burrow. I don't know what that offense did look like. Yeah, he did do have a late
three
drive to win the
three
game,
picks, but yeah, they did
but he
win. Yeah,
threw three. He threw 3 picks. He's 4-3 as a starter since he's been there. So he's started a lot of games,
yeah,
but it's just I want to see it. So I kind of
four
had
and
to
three, but back when their defense was significantly better.
exactly. And then at 15, I have Seattle. They dropped the spot. They dropped the spot really because I moved Indy from behind them ahead of them. They
Sure.
beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense looks shitty this year.
I know, dude. It's crazy. It is not a normal Steelers defense, man.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the moves they made, especially in the secondary, I would have thought they would have been way better than this, man. But sometimes it just doesn't work that way. So, all right, yeah. So for me at 11, I got Indy. I moved them up 5 spots. Really showing them some love, just like you. 12, I've got Denver. I dropped them 2. I like how they're right there, Indy, Denver now. That's nice, at least for the week. 13, I got San Francisco. They didn't move from where I was at last week. And, I get it, they got a win, but it wasn't as solid of a win as I would have liked to have seen. And, Mac Jones is starting. So I think you still just aren't really sure what that means for them long term here. Although Purdy could be back this week, I'm hearing. But
Mhm.
and then 14, I've got Atlanta. Despite the loss, I bumped them up 4 spots because I like what I'm seeing. They're moving the ball really well on offense. They're actually showing a lot of signs on defense, especially off the edge, which we've talked about for years has been their Achilles heel. And so, they just look good to me. And then at 15, I got Houston. I dropped them 1 spot. And Houston, I'm not ready to like throw in the towel on them yet, but man, they got to win a game, dude. They got to win a game. So back to you at 16, bud.
All right, so right here, 16-20, all these teams dropped 1 spot. They lost, but it's more of the fact that I corrected with Indianapolis. I have Houston. I have concerns about Houston that they're looking pretty shitty right now. Then 17, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's problem is their defense, and
Yeah.
I'll get to it. Get to it. Then I had the Raiders, and then the Jets at 19. And I'm wondering if the reason the Jets offense looks so good in week 1 is the fact that Pittsburgh's defense is so bad.
That could be a factor for sure now that you see 2 weeks of it, right?
Yeah, and also with the Jets, like I don't know what's up with the Jets defense. They've allowed so many. They've allowed what? Let's see, 30 and then 64 points in 2 games. They're allowing 32 points a game, and the problem with the Jets was if they got mediocre, if they got anything from the quarterback position, their defense could hold. And everyone said like
Well,
they have a good defense and they just need a quarterback. And now I'm questioning what's going on with that defense, and I'm a little bit questioning Aaron Glenn right now.
we did though talk in the offseason that they had a lot of guys uh churn on the defensive side of the ball, right?
True.
I know they kept Sauce Gardner and some of the big names, but they did have a lot of shuffle. And so I think that we're seeing some of the impact of that. You going to bed, bud? All right, have a good night, man. Love you, pal.
Oh, you got to catch that.
Oh, you're a little bit ahead of me. uh, but yeah, I'm with you on that. And then yeah, you
And
still
then
got
20, I
20. Yeah.
have Minnesota. They dropped 1 spot. They lost to Atlanta. I probably should have dropped them 2 spots looking. Actually, I'll leave it.
Yeah, you can leave it till next week. Yeah. Yeah.
think
So
actually no, I'm going to change it. I'm going to put Atlanta there. Atlanta's going to stay the same,
yeah, that's cool.
and
It's your board. You do what you want. So yeah, at 16, I got Pittsburgh. I dropped them 7 spots, and I know we talked about how high Madden had them, and after that first week, I dropped them a little bit, but now after the second week, I felt comfortable really dropping them a lot more. Uh, 17, I got Minnesota. I dropped them 5. I would like to drop them more, but I am wondering at this point, could they actually be better without JJ McCarthy starting?
mhm.
And I say that because, I know he had to come back in week 1, which, they almost lost that game kind of because of him and how he couldn't settle down. And now week 2, just watching him, man, he looks like a rookie quarterback, and I get it. He basically is, right? We've talked about it. He missed all last season, but until he can settle down in the pocket, he's going to do that team a disservice because they've got a ton of talent on both sides of the ball. And so they might end up actually being better for a little while here with Wentz starting. And so we'll see. It could be a stretch, but it's just me throwing that out there. At 18, I got Dallas. I moved them up 1. Hey, they probably didn't even deserve to move, but I gave it to them anyhow. And then 19, Seattle, I bumped them up 1. And then at 20, Arizona, I bumped them up 4. And so this is one where maybe a little healthier of a bump than I would have normally liked. But when I look at the team sort of in the next chunk of my board, through 2 weeks, I feel like Arizona's really playing better football. And so I had to kind of find a way to float them up. So back to you at 21, man.
All right, 21. I I just switched it to Minnesota because they lost to Atlanta. They dropped 2 spots, and so I had Atlanta at 20.
Okay.
Um, then 22, New England, they dropped 1 spot, and that's basically the last move on my board. Dallas, they won. They stayed the same. Look, they beat the Giants. The
By
Giants
a
should have won
hair.
that game by a hair.
Yeah.
The Giants should have won the game. Jacksonville lost to Cincinnati, but I have Cincinnati still so far ahead of them, and it's kind of where I expected the Jaguars.
Sure.
Arizona, they stayed at 25, even though they beat Carolina. I had Carolina behind them. They should beat
Okay.
them. It shouldn't have been that close.
I hear you, my man. I hear you. So yeah, at 21, 22, I got some major board adjustments. And so, ooh, nice little play. I floated up the Raiders and the Patriots to 21 and 22 respectively. So the Raiders went up 7 spots. The Patriots went up 9 spots. And so this is really me just saying, um, the teams from here on out, I don't have any faith in. Really, even including these guys, I'm shaky on them, but I have just a little bit more faith in them, maybe because of their coaches and their quarterback situation, whatever else. And so I needed to get them above this next tier, basically. And so then at 23, I got the Jets. I dropped them 2. 24, Cincinnati. I dropped them 7. And so I spanked them without Burrow because um, I just see how bad the defense is, right? And I think a backup quarterback's going to have a hard time no matter what. So, maybe Browning surprises and I can creep them up a little bit, but Burrow's supposed to be out for 3 months. So I'm kind of looking at it as their season's done,
Mm-hmm.
like pending some kind of miracle. And then 25, I got the Bears. I dropped them down 2. Crazy watching them play because that entire first half against Detroit, they were actually moving the ball very well. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot at key times. And then in the second half, it started to slip away. But it just, to me, it's like, man, if they could just stay a little bit tighter, the Bears, man, they would be a really, I think, competitive team this year. And they're doing it to themselves, man. So back to you at 26.
All right, no changes here. Carolina lost. Chicago lost. Tennessee lost. Miami lost. The Saints lost. So I didn't really change anything here.
Easy. All right. So, yeah, 26 for me. I got Jacksonville. I dropped them down 1. 27 Miami. I dropped them 5. They are really off to a horrible start. 28 Cleveland. Dropped them 2. 29 the Saints. I dropped them 2. 30 Carolina. I dropped them 1. And some of these moves are like multi-spot moves just because of the way the board shook out in my restructuring. And so, had this been maybe a little later in the year, it might only be like a 1 or whatever spot swing. So, we got special guests.
Hi. Yeah, we got special guests. You want to pause?
Yeah. All right, so back to it, and we are at the dumpster fire, my man. What you got?
All right, dumpster fire, no change. The Giants, if they would have won the game, it would have been great. Russ looked good, except for his arm punt in overtime. And I think that pushed back Jackson Dart starting for them. And then 32, I have Cleveland, who talked all sorts of crap all week about how bad the Ravens were and blah, 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 and then went out and got spanked.
Yeah, they shouldn't be talking shit about anybody.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, kind of pains me, but I put Tennessee in at 31, and then I got the Giants at 32. And it pains me with Tennessee because I do believe they are a better team. They're just experiencing the growing pains of a rookie quarterback and sort of a tough early schedule given that they've got a rookie quarterback. And so, I think that they can climb out of the gutter here, but it just for now, I totally yanked like New England and some of these other teams out and shook up the board, and that's just the way it dropped. So
makes sense.
All right, so that is our power rankings. We will we'll take 10, and then we'll come back and we'll do our game picks.
Oh, sounds good.
All right, man. Talk to you in a bit.
Talk.
All right, we are back, and it's time for some game picks, man. So why don't you take the lead here? Tell us how we're looking.
All right, so I had another shitty week. I did better this past week than I did the previous week. I got 10 right. Overall season total of 18 for 56%. You got 12 right for an overall season total of 24.
Yes. It's early, man. It's early.
Or 75%.
Yeah. Solid start for me. We talked about it earlier. The first 2 weeks are so dicey that you just never know, and historically we've improved as the year has gone on. And so I think that, for you could expect that. For me, because I started so high, I got to believe there'll be a little bit of like, revert to the mean kind of thing going on. But, who knows? It'd be sweet. I mean, I think I just barely got above 70% on the season last year or whatever it was. So, maybe I can just keep it going. Keep it going.
All right, so tonight we're both on Buffalo. I think really McDaniel's coaching for his job in this game, and I told you that I think Miami might come out balls on fire. Well, I don't know how he missed that. That's fucking terrible for me.
Yeah, for Prater. Did you pick up Prater?
I did.
Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, that was weird. Because I couldn't tell if somebody got a hand on it or he just shanked it.
It looked like, from what I saw, he shanked it, but I was kind of watching it out of the corner of my eye.
Okay. Just a bad shank.
I don't know for certain, but
yeah, it does feel like McDaniel is, man, he's got his back against the wall.
Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. Right now it's 14-7, so it is close.
Yeah. I mean, anytime that the team has a players only meeting, the coach is in trouble.
Yeah, and then did you hear McDaniel's I think it was his press conference or whatever before the game where he's like, I'm not thinking about that, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, he's got to try to play it cool, But he should be worried.
Yeah, he should be seriously worried for his job. But then again, he's kind of doing it a disservice if he's worried for him. The mistake he made in his press conference was he said something along the lines of like he doesn't believe something about like he can't believe he's the head coach or something like that, or he's just happy to be a coach or some. So I don't remember the exact quote, but I was like, whoa, that's
Okay.
not good to fucking say.
Yeah. Huh.
Let me see if I can find it. Well, and I'll see if I can find it later.
Sure.
But anyways, so then first game of the weekend we have Atlanta at Carolina. Like, I want to root against Atlanta, but they're just looking too fucking good.
They do look really sharp. Yeah, and
So
it's in Carolina's a bottom feeder, right? So how do you,
yeah, exactly.
how do you call that upset? I know it's in Carolina, but that is not enough of a reason when you look at Bryce Young and that defense and just how bad Carolina's been all around.
Yeah, and like looking at it, like I have Atlanta at 20 and Carolina at 26
Yeah.
first down. So it's not that big of upset, but Atlanta's just clearly better than Carolina. So I'm on Atlanta.
Yeah, the trajectories are opposite. Atlanta's going up, Carolina's going down. So yeah, I'm Atlanta as well.
All right. I mean, 1 second. Let me.
Mm-hmm. You take your time, homie.
All right. Then we have Green Bay at Cleveland. This is another situation of how can you pick
Yeah.
against Green Bay when Cleveland looks like complete dog shit. So I'm on Green Bay.
I am as well. And yeah, I mean, Cleveland, they needed that win in week one, dude. And their receivers like gave it away. And now week two, we're seeing, you know, like the full dysfunction of Cleveland against a good team, and they're in trouble, dude. They're in trouble. And so, I'm sure in the coming weeks, there'll be maybe a change at quarterback and whatever, just because otherwise, what's Stefanski gonna do? Like I don't know. I like Stefanski, but I gotta believe he's losing his job this year.
Yeah. All right. Then we have Houston at Jacksonville, and this is another one. Jacksonville is looking better than the first two home teams, and Atlanta or Houston's kind of looking a little bit worse than the first two road teams. But I still have to believe that Houston beats Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville did just lose to Cincy, right? And so I think Houston is better than Cincy right now. And man, I know it's in Jacksonville, it's a divisional game. I think Houston's a team with their back against the wall too right now. And so I think they're going to come in guns blazing. And, plus I will say this, they're getting Nick Chubb going on the ground. The defense we know is immensely talented. I think Houston could be getting ready to figure some stuff out. Jacksonville, yeah, they've had moments, but I still think they're a step behind where Houston's at. And so I'm going Houston. Oh, did I lose you, bud? Can you hear me?
No, you didn't lose. I'm here.
Oh, you froze
My
on me.
my shit's all frozen.
That's all right.
Yeah, my, my entire browser's Zoom browser's frozen.
Okay.
But I didn't hear a damn thing you said. But I'm assuming
Houston.
Houston.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have Cincinnati at Minnesota. I struggled with this game because I don't know what like I said, I don't know what Brown is going to look like. I don't know what Minnesota is going to look like with McCarthy out. I really kind of struggled with it, so I just went with my power rankings and picked Cincinnati.
I got you. Yeah, and based on my board and everything, I got Minnesota a lot higher now because I smoked Cincinnati. But, also looking at it, if you just even said, hey, both these backup quarterbacks are equally crappy or whatever, you know, Minnesota has a ton of talent on defense, right? And so if it ends up being a defensive kind of battle, they win it. And so I'm going Minnesota.
All right. And then we have, I'm looking for the quote. Then we have Pittsburgh at New England.
Okay.
And like I said, Pittsburgh's defense really is kind of dog shit this year. So I expect this to be a higher scoring game. But my sense is Pittsburgh's going to find a way to pull it out against New England. So I'm on Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's the same for me where it's like, man, I just have such a hard time counting out Tomlin and what he does with this team every year. And the Patriots are in a rebuild, right? The Steelers, I don't know. I mean, they should be playing way better than they are. But either way, I'm going Pittsburgh. If they lose, I'll definitely be reevaluating a lot of things with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. All right. So I found the quote, and that I was like, what the fuck? Okay. He said, I think if I worry about my job security, I won't be doing my job. I've never felt entitled to this position, and it's very important. It's very important time to spend all my waking hours worrying about exactly how to do my job.
I don't think
Look,
that's a horrible thing to say.
It's not as bad. Like how I heard it
he's being humble is what he's being. He's saying,
but
hey,
how
I know. Yeah.
How I heard it cut, it sounded a lot worse.
Okay. Well, yeah, because media's good at stirring the pot, right? So
yeah, I didn't know that Dolphins fans had a GoFundMe to hire a plane to fly over the stadium to fire Mike McDaniel, but all right. Then we have probably the best matchup of the week: the Rams at the Eagles. Remember, just last year they had that epic playoff game in the divisional round where the Eagles barely pulled it out. I have to think that the Rams are looking for revenge for that. The Rams are playing really fucking good.
They are.
And I think the Rams are slide. I think the Rams are right now probably the biggest threat to the Eagles for the conference.
Sure.
And I think the Rams are actually playing better than the Eagles right now, so I'm going to go with the Rams.
It's a bold statement, and I like when you make your bold statements. I'm sticking with Philly, top team on my board in Philly. I do think that them being 2-0, you could see them maybe play a little bit soft because they're kind of skating right now. But I also think that they want to keep it rolling, especially with it being a home game. But I hear what you're saying. The Rams do look really good, and so I could see it going either way for sure. But yeah, I'm sticking with Philly.
All right. Then we have the Jets at the Bucks. I told you this weekend that I really don't like Baker Mayfield. And in fact, I think at like one point he was more concerned about his progressive commercials than playing football.
Well, because he was playing for Cleveland.
And you hit it on the head. He's really revitalized his career. And I still don't like him. But you can't deny what's going on in Tampa with him. Ironically, if you remember, when he signed with the Buccaneers, he was a free agent. Any team in the league could have signed him, including the Jets, who that same offseason traded a whole shitload of picks for Aaron Rodgers. I think that's that chip on Baker's shoulder, especially with those facts, is going to lead the Bucs to win the game. I think it'll be closer than we think, though.
Yeah, he's scrappy, and I like Baker Mayfield. I will say this: the one thing I view as a wild card for this game is we're going to find out if Luke Goedeke is going to play. If Luke Goedeke is out, that means 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen are going to be out for that game, man. That's hard to come. That's hard to get over that, right? And so, we know Tristan Wirf's out, and then Cody Mauch, however you say his name, he's now out. And then Goedeke left the game last week and never came back. And so, oh man, that could be a really bad development for Tampa Bay. They were already struggling to run the ball, by the way. I don't know. I don't want to say struggling to run the ball because Bucky Irving did have some good runs, but it was very streaky, I would say. And I think that the offensive line
Luke Goedeke is on IR.
Okay, so they got 3 out of their 5 starters out.
Yeah, Goedeke's out.
Yeah.
Wirfs is questionable with a knee. Mauch and Goedeke are both on IR. Abuka and Godwin are questionable.
Yes, I think Tampa Bay, man, that makes this game susceptible to a loss, but I'm still picking them over the Jets, who are going to be starting Tyrod Taylor.
You learned how to slide. Good job. You learned how to slide.
It did look – he did kind of like slide down hard, right? Like he's not very smooth at it. But yeah, and that's the other side is that Tyrod Taylor's starting for the Jets.
True. I forgot. I didn't even factor that part in.
Which, honestly, I kind of like the way they did that. You have Fields and Tyrod Taylor, very similar style quarterbacks that, that's what you want to have so you keep your playbook consistent and everything jives in practice and everything. And, that's just a whole team building thing that I like, but that's different. So,
yeah. All right. Then we have the Colts at Tennessee. And holy shit, I think I'm just realizing something.
What's that?
Away.
You're picking a lot of the away teams?
Yeah, I guess it kind of evens out a little bit. But damn. All right. So the Colts at Tennessee. I have to believe the Colts keep it rolling. They've given no signs of slowing down even with Daniel Jones running that offense, and which is a complete shock. But
maybe he's the new Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but I'm going to pick the Colts again.
Yeah, I mean, I think Steichen talked a lot about Daniel Jones in the offseason, and we all kind of thought, he's just saying it because they know they got a quarterback controversy with Anthony Richardson, and I don't know, man. Daniel Jones, he looks real steady, and so I'm waiting for things to revert and change. But until they do, I'm getting on board, man, because that team is well rounded with talent, and so if he can keep doing what he's doing, they can definitely keep winning. I will say this: Tennessee has a great defense, but they did just beat Denver, who has one of the top defenses. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you with Indy, man.
So we have the Raiders at the Commanders, and I think I told you this weekend they're talking about Carroll and like when he found out he could go out and get Geno Smith. The reason he did is he might not be the most talented, he might not be the best quarterback in the league, but his work ethic is unmatched.
Yeah.
He fucking works his ass off to be a good quarterback. I wish he had more weapons around him. I wish the offensive line was better. I wish he had a little bit more there. to support him. Then we have the Commanders, and this pick might change based on how I'm feeling on Sunday,
Yeah.
but because the Commanders might be without Jaden.
Well, they're already saying the expectation is that
Yeah.
Mariota is getting all the reps, right? And that they're planning on him being the guy. But they won't know until tomorrow is when Jaden Daniels may be able to practice.
So I'm tentatively on Washington, but this is subject to change.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm on Washington as well. It's tough, man. I think you hit the nail on the head with, the talent around Geno, and Brock Bowers is basically his number one receiver. Jacoby Myers is his number one receiver, but Jacoby Myers on any other team is a 2 or a 3. And
Mm-hmm.
so, they don't have the receiving talent that he needs. But more notably, they don't have the offensive line, which is drastically dragging down the running game. I gotta believe that that's driving Pete Carroll nuts, knowing the way
Mm-hmm.
he likes to run the ball, power football. They brought in Ashton Genty, and the dude can't find a lane to save his life. And so, that to me puts them like near the bottom tier, even though I like the coach and the quarterback and whatever. But yeah, so I'm going Washington. And yeah, maybe as we get closer, I might flip with you, but I'm sticking with the Commanders for now.
Yeah. Then we have the Broncos at the Chargers. Now, if the Broncos beat the Colts, my pick would be completely different in this game. I think the
Yeah.
Broncos are going to come out in this game pissed the fuck off. I mean, come on. Fucking leverage. Oh, his ass was up in the air and you brushed it while you were jumping.
That was pretty weak, yeah.
So I just think the Broncos are coming out in this game fucking ticked the fuck off, and they're going to take it to the Chargers. And I don't think the Chargers have really been hit in the mouth yet this year. And I think the Broncos could do that. And I like the Broncos defense. I think it's going to be harder for the Chargers to pass the ball like they seem to have liked lately.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Denver in this game, but if I had to put a confidence on it, it's very low.
Yeah, that's fine, man. And I'm taking the Chargers. I think that I'd probably like your argument better if it was in Denver, but since
Mm-hmm.
it's in Los Angeles, and they did win the first 2 games, looked really solid in both of them. I think they're feeling good. They got momentum, and Denver comes in their full head of steam. I think that they're prepared for it, and so I'm going with the Chargers. But yeah, I mean, it'd be brutal for Denver to lose another one, right? And so they're definitely going to be fighting hard.
Then we have, and by the way, it's tied at halftime.
Oh yeah, I like that, man. Yeah, Miami, they scored right before 8 seconds to go. Good for them.
Yeah. Then we have the Saints at the Seahawks. Like, I'm not as confident as most teams playing the Saints. I would be because Seattle's been kind of hit and miss this year.
Yeah, they got Sam Darnold.
I'm on the Seahawks, and Sam Darnold looks like old Sam Darnold, not last year Sam Darnold, a little bit. I'm on the Seahawks, but I'm not as confident as I should be for a team going up against the Saints.
Yeah, I agree. And we talked a little bit about it last week with the volume that they're going to pass. The quarterback situation will improve just because of the volume they're going to throw at it. And so, there could be a week where they surprise somebody and then maybe build some momentum. This would be a week where that could happen, but I think Seattle, it's a more stable organization, and even with Darnold regressing, they're still a better team. And so it's in Seattle. All that's going on. I gotta stick with Seattle, man.
Yeah. And we have Cowboys at the Bears. the Bears have to turn it around at some point.
Yeah.
I think all the talk about how bad Dallas's defense is this week is going to fire them the fuck up. Um, it could have gone either way on this game. Like, it's really a coin flip. I can't pick a tie, so I'm going to go with. Well, I could, but it's just ridiculous. I'm going to go with Dallas.
That's fine. I'm taking Chicago, and so when I put this together, my original pick would have been Dallas because based on my board, Dallas is that much higher. But I'm doing sort of like two different ways of looking at it this year. I've got the board, and then I've got a team rating, and the team ratings are close enough that with it being in Chicago, I swing the needle over to that side. And so I think that this is the first game where Chicago stays tight, stays focused, and gets the win.
All right, then we're on to Sunday night, Kansas City at the Giants. I just picked this because I want to see it. I want to see Patrick Mahomes start
Are
out
we
0-3.
skipping Arizona?
I look right by it.
I know sometimes they're like kind of gimme games, but I figured that one you'd want to at least talk about.
I like Arizona at San Francisco. I don't have faith in San Francisco like I did coming into the year,
Yeah.
but I have even less faith in Arizona than I did coming into the year. So I'm going to go with San Francisco on it. I think this is kind of it's. If it was in Arizona, I might pick it differently.
Yeah, and I think Arizona will give them a run for their money, but I'm still going with San Francisco. They're far enough apart on my board and on the team rating both that and then it's in San Francisco, so they're just getting kind of 3 out of 3 here in my evaluation. It's hard for me to override it.
Yeah. All right, then on to the Sunday night matchup of the Chiefs at the Giants. I just want to see the fucking Chiefs start 0-3. I'm fucking loving the fact that they're
It
0-2.
would be sweet. And you got
And
to
then
believe, yeah, you talk about a team being desperate. Well, actually, both these teams are desperate, right?
yeah. And then on
Oh,
top of that, like you lose to the Giants.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
Oh,
it's
fire Andy Reid mid-season. What? Oh, it'd be crazy. It would never happen, but yeah.
yeah. It would never happen. I'm just picking this because I want to see it happen. I'm on the Giants.
I mean, I would like to see it because Mahomes would come unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
You would see the Chiefs start infighting and it would get wild, man. It would be something we have never seen before. But um, I can't, in my wildest dreams, I can't see that happening. So I'm taking Kansas City. But I like your boldness. I like your strategy. I mean, you might as well swing for the fences. You never know. It'd be the pick of the century if it happens.
All right, and then we have our Detroit Lions at Baltimore. Which didn't they play at Baltimore last year?
Yeah, I think it was. And then the year before it was in Detroit, right? When fucking Tucker had that like 67 yarder or whatever.
65, I thought,
Or
but
whatever it was, the
yeah,
record.
that hit the crossbar,
Yeah.
bounced up, and went over. Yeah. So I don't know why the fuck they have two in a row at Baltimore. This is like the same shit. Like they did this with Dallas. Like last year, we ran through how many times in a row Detroit's played at Dallas instead of at home.
Yeah. Just a little shaft on the schedule, man. I mean, Detroit has a hard fucking schedule this year anyhow. So it's kind of like, all right, what does it matter? It's it's just tough.
Yeah. So all right. So they played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8th time, and this will be the Lions are fucking 1-6 against the Baltimore Ravens.
Damn.
Fuck.
Don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
It's going to be a super fucking high scoring game. I wanted to look because like I had gone through it and came up with a score for this game. All right, so I have it as fucking 100 points scored in the game, 52-48 win for the Lions.
It'd be nuts. I mean, it could happen, right? And I would love it if the Lions won. But I'm picking Baltimore. I'm still not sold on the Lions' offensive line, and until they convince me that the offensive line is stable, I got a hard time picking them against a team like Baltimore, man.
All right. And I don't think we need to go through it, but we'll go through it anyways. Thursday night, Seattle at Arizona.
Sure.
No, yeah, because next week's Wednesday, we're just a day early because I'm busy tomorrow.
Correctamundo.
Early pick, I'm on Seattle. I really need to see what these teams look like this weekend to really be able to pick this game.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm on Seattle.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. And for now, I'm on Arizona. I like what I'm seeing out of Kyler Murray in their running game with James Conner and Trey Benson, the way they're splitting that off. And so, I just, Seattle's got me a little nervous with the quarterback situation. So, yeah, I'm going Arizona for now. And if we decide to make the adjustments, we got a week to do it.
All right, so that's the picks. Any comments?
No questions, comments, concerns from my end, man.
Why the fuck is there a fucking corgi running around on the field?
They're doing some kind of dog event.
All right. Anyways, that's the picks. I don't think I have anything else to add except for I hope fucking Miami loses this game and they fire McDaniel. But
oh jeez. And the Lions win. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Anybody who's watching, we hope you like the show. And James, I'll catch you later, my man.
All right.
Gridiron Grinder. Hut, hut, hike.